Hey guys, this is going to be a bit more technical video. We're going to be diving into the code to explore what Dax did under the hood. So we are going to be reviewing all the files. I'm going to be walking you through how he organized the files, the main structure that he follows, and everything related to the project. So if you're a dev and you're excited to see what he's done, let's get to it. Before we start, I think it's important to mention that Dax uses the same boilerplate every time, so he follows the same pattern, the same folder structure, and the same code principles every time. So you can rest assured that he is always going to be as consistent as possible with every project. So let's see what he did. So here we are in GitHub, and we can see that under the themes folder, we have the custom theme that he created for us with the name of the project. And if we go here, we can start seeing the set of subfolders. So the first folder that we're going to see is the ACF JSON folder, where basically it's defining all the custom fields for the project, the custom post types, the custom fields, and the taxonomies. So if we want to review that on the front end, what you'll see is that you have the sync available fields. So the cool thing here is that you can see how he's grouping all the custom fields for each one of the blocks, but not only for the blocks, but also you can see that he's creating some custom fields for the custom post type events, for the options. So it's defining all the fields. So moving to the top, we can also see the post types that he created. So right here, we can see that he created the events post type, the testimonials, and the tours post type. So that along with the taxonomies that he also created for the event category and the tour categories. So that's already a huge time saver. If you are a developer and you've created custom fields, you know that it's like a painful task, and we started from that right off the bat. So let's review how he's organizing all the styles. So if we can all the way down here, we have the theme.json file where he's storing all the variables that he will be using later on the project. So reviewing this, we can see that he's defining all the different colors, defining names. So this is already can be picked up from WordPress. This is being pulled from Figma, so it's matching the designs. Then we have a lot of colors here. Then we can scroll down and see how he's calling the font families, importing the font families. And then another important thing for you to know is that right here at the bottom, he's creating some custom variables that he can use later on to style the file. So as you probably know, we are using Tailwind with this project. So it's importing in this Tailwind config file. We're mapping the WordPress CSS variables with the Tailwind variables, so then you can use it and have everything in sync. Now let's review the blocks. So if we come up here, we are gonna find two folders that are important: blocks and components. Under blocks, you'll be able to find all the custom block that he created for you. So if we come here and pick up like the FAQs, for instance, we can see that there are a lot of sub-files here that he created to define the blocks. Some of them are going to be used by Dax, some others it's just for you to have them in case you need them to use it. So let's start with the block JSON, where the blocks is being defined. So right here, you can see that we have like the blocks title, we have like a neat description, which is basically, well, the description for the blog, and sometimes it's hard to come up with those descriptions, so it's cool to have them there. And there we have all the rest of the blog metadata. So moving forward, the other important one is the render.php. So basically here in the render.php, where the magic's happening. So you can see how he's firstly grabbing all the custom fields, then validating if the custom fields have the correct type to make sure that it's not running into any critical errors later on. And then you can see how he's starting with the HTML and PHP. So here you can start seeing some Tailwind classes, and you will notice that he's not only creating this block, but he's also pulling some components that he's reusing across the site. So for instance, here we have the heading component, which is something that we do in order to give control to the user for the semantic HTML tag. We have a couple of properties that are pretty handy. And then we have here the accordion component. So if we wanted, we can come here and try to find one of those under components. So let's find accordion, and here we have the accordion. So here we have that component that he's reusing. He's revalidating the arguments and then creating the set of fields. All right, let's keep reviewing these. Here we have the style.scss in case you want to add some extra styling to this specific block. You can do it right here. So that's cool, but let's explore a bit more complex block. So here we have the tour slider block, which again, same styling. It's creating and defining the block JSON with all the properties here. And then we have the render PHP. So a couple of things to notice here. First of all, it's following the same patterns that it's following on the other blocks. So getting the ACF, validating the ACF field types, and then what is different on this one is that it's pulling the data from a custom post type. So right here we can see that it's defining the query to pull the data from tours. So here it's defining the query arguments, and then it has this kind of neat functionality where you can choose whether you wanted to pull the post manually or if you want them to just bring the latest post. So all that logic is happening right here. Okay, so then it's calling the query, and here we can see that we have the PHP with all the Tailwind classes, the nested components right here, and again, defining all the different nested components. So here we can see that it's defining all the queries for the swiper. And that's cool. So here we have the slider, and the slider for which one we are using swiper. So in order to do that, let's take a look into the JS file. So I think it's not the Vue.js file. So here you can see how it's importing swiper from swiper, and then it's defining all the properties and initializing swiper and stuff. So also in this particular case, it's come pretty handy, the styles.scss, because after, like, you can define some styles after this is being rendered on the client side. So if you want to add some extra stylings, you can do it here. Dax knows that, so he's already added some padding bottom here using this file. So this is an example of a bit more complex block. Let's check them out here. So here it's the tour custom post tab, which was pulling the data from, and we can come and see, for instance, I think this block is on the home page. Let's check it out. That's the events with the slider. All right, here we have the international tours. So here we have the swiper that it's working and it's pulling the data from the custom post types. So let's see if this works. If we click that one, we can write to the single. And here we have the block that we were watching earlier, which is the FAQs with the accordion that it's working pretty nicely. So here you can see how Dax it's taking the design and creating some custom theme for this, creating some solid foundations for you as a dev to pick up from, like do the fine tuning, making sure that everything's working pixel perfect, and you just do a couple of tweaks here and there, but you are like way ahead of the work. Like you start the project with like a really solid foundation that you can tweak and then you can claim your credit. So Cool. I think that was it. Thanks a lot for sticking with me for this kind of series of videos explaining how this works. If you have any questions about it, please feel free to write me, book a demo on bad.ai, and hopefully you can try it out the tool and start using it. All right. Thank you guys. Bye.